Your mind is not a clock. It's a quantum computer. While most brains process information sequentially, moving from point A to point B to point C, your INFJ mind operates through what Carl Jung called temporal synthesis. You're not thinking through time, you're thinking across it. This isn't mystical intuition or lucky guessing. It's a documented cognitive function called introverted intuition, and it allows your brain to process patterns outside conventional time constraints. You synthesize past data, present circumstances, and future possibilities simultaneously, creating what neuroscientists now recognize as nonlinear cognition. By the end of this video, you'll understand the precise mechanism behind this temporal processing, and why what others mistake for indecision is actually your mind running complex pattern analysis that operates beyond linear time perception. Before we start, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our weekly deep dives into the world of personality types. If you are looking to achieve a deeper understanding of yourself and your personality type, click the link in the comments to take our free personality test. The science of nonlinear intuition. Introverted intuition dominant processing. Jung described introverted intuition as the ability to synthesize patterns across temporal boundaries. Think of it like this. While most people's minds work like a GPS, calculating the best route step by step, the INFJ mind works like a satellite view, seeing the entire landscape simultaneously. Introverted intuition dominant processing is convergent rather than sequential. Instead of gathering information piece by piece and building toward a conclusion, INFJs unconsciously collect disparate data points and allow their minds to find the hidden connections. They see endpoints before pathways become clear to anyone else. Recent research on intuitive processing has revealed that individuals with a dominant intuitive preference exhibit increased activity in the right hemisphere of the brain, specifically in areas responsible for holistic pattern recognition. While most people rely heavily on sequential left brain processing, INFJs naturally default to right brain synthesis. This creates what researchers call temporal displacement in cognitive processing. Here's what's actually happening. When you present an INFJ with a complex situation, their brain immediately begins running multiple timeline scenarios simultaneously. They're not just thinking about what might happen next week. They're unconsciously modeling how current patterns will play out over months or years. This is why INFJs often seem to possess what others call old soul wisdom. They're not just drawing from personal experience. Their minds are accessing archetypal patterns that transcend individual timelines. Jung believed this connected them to what he called the collective unconscious, universal patterns of human behavior that repeat across cultures and centuries. The common misconception is that INFJs are slow processors. Actually, they're comprehensive processors. While others make quick decisions based on immediate data, INFJs are running complex pattern analysis that considers long-term implications most people never even think about. This processing style is like hesitancy, but is actually strategic patience. They're not struggling to make decisions. They're allowing their unconscious mind to complete its sophisticated analysis before committing to action. Neurologically, this manifests as what researchers call incubation processing. The INFJ brain continues working on problems in the background, even when they're not consciously thinking about them. Solutions and insights often emerge suddenly, seemingly from nowhere, but they're actually the result of extensive unconscious processing. This explains why INFJs often report their best insights coming during quiet moments, walks, or just before sleep. Their conscious mind finally gets out of the way, allowing the deeper pattern recognition to surface. The temporal aspect is crucial here. While most people experience time as a linear progression, I perceive it as a web of interconnected possibilities. Past, present, and future feel more fluid to them. They can sense how current choices will ripple forward and how past patterns are influencing present circumstances. This nonlinear process is evident in three critical areas where INFJs consistently outperform linear thinkers: crisis navigation, relationship dynamics, and creative expression. Crisis navigation, the strategic patience advantage. During high-stress situations, most people default to fight or flight responses that prioritize immediate action over strategic thinking. INFJs do something completely different. They instinctively step back and allow their pattern recognition to analyze the crisis from multiple timeline perspectives. While others are reacting to immediate pressures, INFJs are unconsciously running scenario analyses. They're not just thinking about how to solve the immediate problem. They're considering how different responses will affect relationships, create new issues, or position them for future opportunities. Research on stress response patterns shows that intuitive dominants have significantly different cortisol and adrenaline responses compared to sensing dominants. Instead of the typical spike and crash pattern, INFJs exhibit stable levels of enabling for sustained analytical thinking even under pressure. This creates what observers often describe as eerie calmness during emergencies. INFJs aren't unaffected by crisis. They're processing it more comprehensively. They understand intuitively that reactive decisions made under stress often create bigger problems down the line. The stepping back phenomenon is actually their introverted intuition function automatically engaging deeper processing modes. While their conscious mind registers the crisis, their unconscious mind is already mapping potential consequences and identifying the response most likely to create positive, long-term outcomes. This strategic patience often saves INFJs from common pitfalls that trap linear thinkers. They avoid the rebound relationships, impulsive career changes, and financial decisions that people make when they're focused only on immediate relief from stress. For example, during a job loss, while others immediately start applying everywhere, INFJs often take the time to analyze why the job occurred, what patterns led to the situation, and how to position themselves for better alignment in their next role. This may appear like procrastination, but it's actually a strategic positioning. Their crisis navigation isn't about avoiding action. It's about ensuring their actions align with long-term patterns rather than short-term pressures. They understand intuitively that crisis often reveals underlying patterns that need addressing, not just immediate symptoms that need fixing. This same comprehensive processing approach extends into how they navigate relationship dynamics, where their ability to see patterns others miss becomes even more pronounced. Relationship dynamics, seeing patterns others miss. INFJs possess an almost uncanny ability to recognize relationship trajectories within the first few interactions with someone new. While others are caught up in surface-level chemistry or initial impressions, INFJs are unconsciously mapping attachment styles, communication patterns, and compatibility markers that won't become obvious to others for months. This isn't about being judgmental or cynical. It's about pattern recognition operating at a level most people can't access. Their introverted intuition function automatically cross-references new people against their extensive database of human behavioral patterns, identifying likely relationship dynamics before emotional investment clouds judgment. Research on social cognition indicates that individuals with dominant traits demonstrate significantly higher accuracy in predicting relationship outcomes compared to other personality types. They're particularly skilled at identifying incompatible core values and communication styles that create long-term friction, even when initial attraction is intense. This is why INFJs often seem to know people better than those people know themselves. they're not reading minds. They're recognizing patterns that repeat across human relationships. They can sense when someone's public persona doesn't align with their authentic self, or when someone's current behavior contradicts their stated values. The phenomenon of INFJs ending relationships that seemed perfect to outsiders stems from this pattern recognition. While friends may see surface compatibility, INFJs are tracking deeper incompatibilities that have yet to manifest. They recognize when fundamental differences in life philosophy, emotional processing, or future goals will eventually create insurmountable conflicts. This creates a common frustration for INFJs. Oftentimes, they spot red flags months before others. They might express concerns about a friend's new partner, only to be dismissed as overthinking or jealous. 6 months later, when the relationship implodes exactly as predicted, people wonder how the INFJ knew. They didn't know in a psychic sense. They recognized patterns. Their unconscious mind processed behavioral data points that others overlooked and identified trajectories that linear thinking couldn't predict. This same pattern recognition helps them avoid toxic relationships and identify genuine compatibility when it exists. The temporal aspect is crucial here. INFJs aren't just evaluating people based on present behavior. They're unconsciously modeling how current patterns will evolve over time, considering how stress, life changes, and personal growth will affect relationship dynamics. Creative expression, accessing future possibilities. In creative fields, INFJs often produce work that feels ahead of its time, and there's a neurological reason for this phenomenon. Their nonlinear processing allows them to synthesize influences and possibilities that haven't yet converged in mainstream consciousness. While most creators work within established frameworks, building incrementally on existing trends, INFJs access what Jung called the transcendent function. This allows them to combine seemingly unrelated elements into cohesive visions that feel both familiar and revolutionary. Research on creativity and temporal perception reveals that individuals exhibit increased activity in brain networks associated with future-oriented thinking and the generation of possibilities. They're not just creating for the present moment, they're unconsciously creating for future contexts that don't yet exist. This explains why INFJ creative work often gains appreciation years after its initial creation. They're tapping into cultural and artistic patterns that are still emerging. Their work serves as a bridge between what currently exists and what comes next. The ability to synthesize disparate influences is particularly pronounced in INFJs. Tightly combined philosophical concepts from different centuries, aesthetic elements from various cultures, and emotional insights from personal experience to create something entirely new yet deeply resonant. They bypass conventional creative processes because their introverted intuition function operates outside linear development. Instead of brainstorming and building ideas step by step, they allow concepts to incubate unconsciously until fully formed visions emerge. This creates work that feels complete and intentional rather than constructed. What society labels as indecisiveness is actually a sophisticated form of temporal processing that operates beyond linear time constraints. Your INFJ mind isn't broken or slow. It's designed for pattern synthesis across past, present, and future possibilities. Stop forcing yourself into sequential processing when your natural gift is seeing the whole picture simultaneously. Trust your strategic patience. Your comprehensive analysis prevents mistakes that a quick decision can create. Subscribe for more insights into how your INFJ mind actually works. If you want to continue the journey to understanding yourself or an INFJ in your life, click either of the following videos, where we continue to unlock the secrets of the INFJ personality type.